Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first stream of this year. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me know. Welcome. So what we're going to do is I've been working on Captive Chaos on the side for like a year. I mean, I made an announcement video last year, slightly before the end of the year before that, I think. And then I did a little update, and then I kind of just quietly kept working on it until today, where I've made significant progress on the game. If you don't know, I've been working on it outside of my full-time job, which is working on this other game called Generation Exile for a company here in Vancouver. And in the side, I've just been tinkering around with my own little project. So I wanted to show it off a little bit today, I guess. I did a stream like a few months ago where I was working on some of the prop destruction stuff, and in the last video I just put up on the channel, I was showing off the replay feature that I built for the game. And so basically where we're at with the game now is that I am currently working on the level design. So in the let's go, is it this one? Yeah. In the update I did at the start of last year, I was telling you that I was working on a sort of general layout for the game, and so I did that, and I built all sorts of things on top of that. Tested the scene with a few friends, did some online testing, like multiplayer testing, that kind of stuff, and I settled on this general layout that you see here. So this is sort of my block out layout, and yeah, I'm happy with it. So what I then decided to do was one moment, I don't know if hold on, I'm dealing also with some setting stream stuff up. I haven't done this in a while, and I've been dealing with things. So if people watching can send some messages in the chat. I'm trying to get the chat display working, but it was not playing ball earlier, so I want to just make sure that it's still working. And actually showing messages. Okay, it is. Okay, great. Right, perfect. There we go. Okay, good. Thank you for the kind words. I hope I'll accomplish the goals too. It is a slow process to get this game working, but I'm very quiet. Okay, let me turn that up there. Now if I switch back to this one, does the messages say? Yeah, they do. Okay, good. That's what I wanted. Okay, great. Is that better? Am I louder now? I don't know if I can add any additional filters. Let me have a look. So we should turn a noise. Is that better? Am I a lot louder now? See? Let me know in the chat if this is better. Is a bit better. Okay. We'll deal with that for now. I'll give it a watch back a little later, and I'll see if I can improve it for them. I get a lot of technical details for this. Yeah. So anyway, I'll show off basically the changes I've made, but essentially I have been working on like play testing and building a version of this game, and I'm really happy with it. So like mechanically the game is in a good place, but we're now at that point where I have to take this temporary lockout level and then start building a real level out of it. So progress is slow because it takes a while, but I've got a lot of tools at my disposal, and so there's a sort of like how it started, how it's going situation. Sort of preview both of them, and yeah, so I've expanded certain areas out from the block out, as you can see, like this was before. Here, sort of expanded as I've sort of been testing the layouts. I've been getting intricate with what I wanted to do. And yeah, so I'm happy with it. But as you can see, there's still quite a lot to do. So my goal over the next couple of months is to finish this. Because A, quite frankly, I'm tired of being in this level art nightmare. But B, I want to get something playable soon. So I'm not working on this for like 5 years. So I figured what we can do is ultimately just do some of these streams from time to time to get my butt into gear and also not be AWOL on the channel for sort of 6 months as I'm hopefully working on some of this stuff. The replay video came out and that was directly taken from some features that I've been working on for cabs, and it did okay. I think it was just time of year. I worked really hard on that video though. I stopped working on this game for like, and it did okay. It did okay. But I'm in this weird position where like it takes a really long time to make those videos, and I want to keep making them. And I'll show you some stuff today that we're going to use, and I'm going to make it. The next video is going to be directly on one of the features that I've built for this level editing. Let's make it 6 years. Yes. I hope not, because the game that I've been working on full time has already been a 5-year project. So we'll see about that one. Yeah. So what I really want to do is sort of combine the tutorial videos on the channel with like just this live stuff, because I think while I have tried to make the channel about polished 20-minute sort of sizzle reel, I guess, of some ideas and content that you implement into your own games, I do think there's probably merit in doing this sort of stuff with me as I'm developing games myself, and I hope that people learn from that. So I'm hoping if I can try and make some of these a little bit more regular. I got some really good feedback last year when I did the mesh, like the graph view tutorial stuff, and I just didn't find more time to continue on that one. But I am working on this game in my spare time quite a lot, and I think finding time once, twice a month, maybe do a live stream progress update type video for a couple of hours, maybe on weekends, maybe Fridays, we'll see. Very similar to this that we're going to do today, I think will be a good practice in general, and hopefully will help you. So if that sounds good, let me know. If not, and you're just here for the vibes, also let me know. And yeah, I just kind of want to experiment with trying to get more content out without it being the 2 to 3 month investment that it needs to be to get the kind of main tutorial videos. So I want to get some more stuff on the channel, and for people that are supporting me, still entertaining and interesting, and hopefully people. But I also just want to have a good time and have some good vibes, and so we're just going to do some level design today. So without further ado, let's just start doing it. So what the past couple of days I have been working on this area. It's just a roundy bit, and I've been working on this building, which is one of the main destinations for Cabs of Chaos. Hell, it is right opposite another destination, which is the downtown North Station. And you know what? I'm quite proud of these. I'm actually, this whole little entrance bit, this is like an escalator that I made, and I'm pretty pleased with that one. I mean, it is intersecting with another piece of mesh there, but whatever, it's fine. I'll drive around this in a minute so you can see in action. But yeah, it's a taxi pickup, crazy taxi style game, if you don't know. So there are a few key destinations on the map with that. They are so there's these little zones which are sort of drop off spots. Right now I've done 3 or 4 of them in this top level. My mic cuts out random. Well, that's not good. Hopefully that'll sort itself out. I might just be knocking the cable. I will try not to do that. Although, I've turned the gating on. Ah. Let me fix the gate. I'll lower the threshold. Oh. How's that? Is that better? Hopefully, there we go. Yeah, I think that's better now. I've set it to be a little less aggressive on the noise gating. That should now stop cutting out. So, okay. We will get these technical errors fixed as I do more of this stuff in the future. Good design in code will keep your scope reachable. Spaghetti Italian code is a tasty nightmare. Yeah, so thankfully, code design for this game is relatively straightforward. The time consumption for all of this now is just gonna be art and levels and characters and stuff, which was something I was aware of when I started the project. You feel the pain of it taking a long time. Yeah, it is lengthy. But what I like about this and why I picked this project to do in my spare time is that it is very piecemeal. Making, and I spoke about this in my initial announcement video, making simulation strategy games on the side, and that's what I was previously doing before I started work on this. Which is that I want to turn level back on and turn the old layout off. There we go, and turn off the data for now. Doing this in a piecemeal way makes it a lot easier to digest. Like, I can just jump into this for a couple of hours in an evening. I don't need to have this sort of mind palace active for anything to kind of get moving. So, oh boy, my material is missing on these guys, but they're just like a pro builder material, so I don't know why. What is going on? Who knows? Weird. Alright, well, it's fine, because they're just a basic mesh. Oh. Weird. Why weren't they URP? Okay, whatever. This is the first time I've opened the project up on my main desktop machine in a very long time. I'm usually sitting on the sofa on my laptop working on the game. But yeah, one of the fun features of this, which you'll see in the future, hopefully if we do more of this, is that I have to block off the road entrances and exits constantly because there are to make it look like a real road, and this is sort of part of the fun of what I'm looking forward to doing. Like this one is going to go to sort of nowhere, this one's going to go to nowhere, and yeah, so I have to get creative about like, okay, how am I going to block each section of road off? So over here we have a little sort of it's under construction, and then yeah, over here I've just, as you saw, I've built some police cars and decided that the police are blocking the road off in this. That's my dog saying hello. In this section over here. And so what I'm going to do in one of these other ones, I think, is have like a bus overturned and on fire, just because I think that'll be really funny. And hello. Yeah, you're scratching. I think that'll be really funny, and so we'll do that at some point. So maybe when I start designing the bus model, we'll do that. One of the things I did recently was this little fountain. So that's fun. I'm pretty pleased with this, actually. I have one master material that I'm using, so I don't have to write like a ton of different shaders. And it took me a little while to it took me a little while to get this to look the way I wanted it to. But then once I added the sort of VFX graph particles, I think it sells it, you know. So yeah, I have sort of one shader that does a bunch of noise, and I'm just doing a few different things with noise. It is great. Noise is great. I will do a video at some point, probably, on noise. Do you have the design on paper? It will keep the record to avoid guessing or forcing memory on your head. I have... I do have the game it's essentially in lots of different pieces on a Notion page. I don't have like sort of mastered game design doc. I don't like working that way because it's fairly rigid, and I like the iterative process. But in general, this game designs itself. I know the design. I don't have to make any difficult decisions with this because it is ultimately just a clone of The Simpsons Road Rage mixed with Crazy Taxi, set in the style of a Saturday morning cartoon. So, with competitive elements, right? So like, I've done it already. Like the game is done basically in terms of mechanics and stuff. Okay, it's not done, but it's like 80% of the way there. I don't feel like I have a whole ton of work to do after I've done the level design. He says, we'll see, confidently, but yeah, right now I'm just in that phase of getting the art done. So, all right. So like I said, we are doing this section, and I have the hotel done. The next venue is going to be one of the ones around here, I guess. It's like the center stuff. So we'll do those a different day. So yeah, I think let's just finish off this top right area and figure out what we're going to do here. So in the layout, what did I do? It's just a long building, huh? Okay. And just a few more buildings down to the bottom. So we just have to kind of loop these around. I can do that. I think that's fine. The other cool thing I really enjoy about this process is after having done the block out, I know kind of the shapes that work, and having watched people play the game, I'm getting to make those choices to sort of mix things up a little bit. So here you can see there's a really big difference sort of between what I had before, which was just a sort of grass area that was going to go up into it. And now there's a sort of, what I'm going to turn this into a parking lot eventually, some stairs, and there's a little jump that'll come off there. So I'm getting to play around a little bit. These tools are built in a way that means that once it's done, it's not going to be done, and I'll be able to make changes, as you'll see here. So let's show you the main way that I'm making buildings. So I have a building maker script that generates buildings from meshes and splines, and this will be the future video. I did see a comment, My Monster VR says we need a road that is blocked by random sheep or cows or something. That is a great idea. Probably going to do that. I might save that for a different level. I hopefully want to have a couple of levels in the game, but if not, there is a couple of areas that might be good for that. That's a little bit more rural at the back of this level. So that's a good idea. I may have to do something like that in the future. Okay, so let's just hit duplicate. Let's move this along, make sure it is not locked, which it currently is. And if I just click generate, oh, it's all even, so it probably isn't going to change anything. But if I move this, you will see that we are procedurally generating buildings along our spline. So I don't have to do any artwork. I just have to like plan out the building blocks of the buildings. Oh, this goes down a little bit, doesn't it? And then it flattens out. Okay, this might be a good place to put a little wall, like a retained wall, with maybe some stairs in a minute down there. Okay, I'll play around with this. So, firstly, I like the idea of this being a slightly lower building than that one next to it. Let's change to a different wall. Do we want? Yeah, let's go like maybe solid glass windows. So wall glass. Do you want double panes? One of the single panes. What's the difference between these two? Are they taller? Oh, there's like a... Go triple. I don't like... The triple's a bit too much. Let's go double for now. Let's go double again. If you are interested in how this tool works, this will be the next video on the tutorial video on the channel. So be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed, which you probably are because you're probably watching this if you're subscribed. Hello, TNTC. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're just hanging out today. Just gonna do some level design until I get bored. Probably will do this for another couple hours. So I feel like I've made some progress. I might... where is the boundaries of this section? Okay, it is where the edge of this road goes. Yeah, I've broken these up into sections just so it's not insane to deal with. All right, yeah, we'll focus on let's finish the upper right section. Might not finish it today, but we should make some good. Let's do some damage to the upper right section. So I think I want a building of the same style, but I want a second version of it that's going to be. Let me hit generate. We should get those windows now. Ooh. I think the bottom window should be different. So in my script here, you can't see this because chat is in the way. Ah, right. Okay. Joy. Let's move the... Okay, let's... All right, I think I'm going to have to just make a concession here and not be like fully full screen. Oh yeah, okay, and then this background... Oh, let's just go crazy. You're gonna see some stream edits live. Let's do that. There we go. That's better. All right. Look, we're gonna make mistakes, and the stream's gonna be a little bit wonky this time around. Next time will be smooth sailing. All right. There we go. Okay. So then, if I move my camera there, bring the chat box up like that. All right. We can have the chat like a little bit over the top of the footage, right? Is that better? I don't know what best way to lay this out is. That's probably fine, right? It's probably better to see it, to actually see what I'm doing, sort of picture-in-picture style. Just me messing with the stream. Yeah, that's probably better. Let's just stick with that for now. Bring that over a little bit. There we go. Okay. Let me know if that works okay. I think that'll do for now, because then you can kind of actually see what I'm doing. And if we do need to go full screen on it, we can always go full screen on it. Like that, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. There you go. The error is gone. Right. So let's change the color. So I have some material templates. Basically, how the script works is that I can change just all sort of metadata of how my building should draw itself, and then I hit the button and it will draw itself the way that I want it to. So let's go with let's go with gray concrete on the bottom. Yeah, that would work. And then maybe a white. How's that look? Ah, I've done that already. That might be fine. We should change the window color though. Let's go for one of the lighter window colors. I'm worried that my microphone is too close to my keyboard and you're just going to hear click clacking. To be honest, my camera placement is probably not great. It is. Let me do this. There we go. Okay, that's probably better. There we go. You can actually see my face now. Right. Let's do that. There we go. Okay. I can switch to the old position and make the chat smaller. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not... I want you to be able to see what I'm doing a little bit more. I think I could... You know what I could do? I could put the little preview box up here and put myself in that corner. And then have chat on the side where it is now. That probably works, right? And then if I bring chat, or maybe bring chat, oops. Bring chat down. Unfortunately, to get it to work, yeah, I think I'll figure something out for the next stream. How do we feel? Let me know in chat what your preferences are of where we place it relative to what you guys want to see. You know what I could do? Why don't I put the project window over here? And then you're not really missing much. Let's move the hierarchy and the project window. And then you can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better. Because you don't really need to see the hierarchy or project window that much. Not for this stream. Yeah, bring chat onto the project section. Exactly. Yeah, there we go. Great minds think alike, eh? There we go. Okay, that's probably better. So, and then if I put the console, VCS there we go. We've gone like full. All right, that works. Why edit the chat layout when you can just edit Unity's layout? That's a much better approach. Cool. You should be able to see everything now. We can actually see the inspector and the console, the viewport, which is really all you need to see. So, well, I haven't used Unity with the hierarchy in this position in a long time. I think this is the default layout. Hi, Scarlett. So, oh, I hit save. How's everyone else's Sunday going? How's it going? Are you all having a good day? What have you been up to? Where are you viewing from? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Okay. So, let's grab this building. And we will duplicate. Do I want it? Yeah, I do want them separated like that. I think that'll look good. Because then in this version, I can make this one like, I don't know, 9 stories or something. Maybe make that one be where the... Yeah, and then in this building, we could set it back a little bit more. That would probably work. That would look... Yeah, that looks cool. And we could put this on a platform. And have that... Yeah, good enough. That all makes sense, right? And the line, let me have a look down the line. Yeah, it being set back a bit actually will look quite nice, I think. Because you'll come down here. Yeah, and then as you get closer, you'll reveal the downtown. That tree probably needs to move. I think that tree should be higher up. I think that makes sense. We can maybe put a bush there instead. Because it's pretty important that as you're coming up here, and as you like come through, you then see the destination. I think that'll be important. So, yeah, it's a little bit more balanced as well. Okay. So we got end of day UK. That makes sense. And from Mexico, greetings. Videos helped me for good time in college days. Good, I'm happy to help. I'm glad. I hope I can assist in some form. Okay. So we want to get this building and oh, you know what? They've all had the same roof color for a long time. Let's easily just mix it up by giving it is that a red roof? Yeah, they're like red roof. Yeah, that works. Okay. 02. Perfect. Okay. 38. And then change where the doors are by just moving the knots on the spline. I could have just said no doors. Actually, I'm just going to say no doors because I don't want any doors on this one. So, doors. Max doors, 0. I don't know if the version I make for the tutorial video will be this in-depth. But essentially, we just have this building maker script. It's doing a lot, frankly. So I don't know how in-depth we'll go until I start like putting the tutorial together. But this script ultimately does a whole bunch of stuff with picking a source mesh for a base layer, how many base layers it should consider, and then sort of figures out points on the mesh to place them based off of the distribution, the width of the total like bounding box of the piece. It's doing, I put it together very, as most people probably do, sort of in gradually building on top of it over the past sort of year. And so the very first version of this tool was nowhere near like what it's doing now. And so part of figuring this out is going to be probably just giving the basics around how it works, and then cutting to, and here's the like super advanced version, and here's how I achieve the extra features, rather than a full sort of step by step. But we'll see. Okay, so now we need a base for this new building. I also don't like those doors, actually. Let me grab the doors. Also, if you are wondering, the reason that I have each of the pieces of the building as a different mesh object is for rendering, right? So like if you're down here, if the whole building is one mesh, it'll all have to be drawn. Excuse me. Whereas if I have it in pieces, we'll be able to turn off, you know, 2/3 of the building that you can't see right now. So that's kind of my thinking. We'll see when it gets to development, like optimization time, how that actually ends up looking. But hopefully it'll work. Let me just bring this up so there's some more light in the room. My lights are also dying, so I don't know how nice this is going to be. I may have to sort of get creative with my lighting setup in a minute. But I think you can see me okay. Alright. Everything's changed with the newer Unity versions. Can't keep up with the new tools. Yeah, I mean, there's not that many new tools if you're not doing it, if you're not using it. Most of the tools that I'm using is stuff that I built myself, so I like building tools for myself because I know I have full control over them. Versus sort of picking up other tools. I want to change those doors. I think I want to change those doors. We go for a full glass door. Maybe we go full glass doors. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay. And then let's offset them. 2. Yeah, that works. It doesn't have to look good. It just, well, it doesn't have to look believable. Good. It doesn't have to look good. It just has to look believable. So, yeah. And then the other tool that I'm doing, I use for all of this is my spline mesh, like surface builder tool. And that ultimately is a pretty basic utility tool that draws a grid around a spline. Like it just calculates the points on the spline and then just draws a grid around it. Builds a mesh out of that grid, which I'll show you in a second. Hold on. I think I've shown this off before. If I switch to wireframe, you can see. So basically, we draw a list of we draw a grid of points around, and if it's not perfect by any means. So, but it doesn't need to be. But yeah, so it tries to find a like grid of best fit within the bounds of the surface, and then it just sort of cuts around the ear cuts around the edge, basically, which is what's going on here. So it's like finds the closest vert and then draws a triangle to each point, and that is how I make a little surface mesh. Oh, and then it does edges if I wanted to. So I did write about this up over on Patreon, so anybody who is a patron can read about that. I think I've included it in one of the packages too. I can't remember. I might have done. Right, so we want this. Do you want to extend pavement? Maybe pavement. Maybe alternate pavement texture. Yeah, let's do the alternate one for now. And then let's make the edge type world. I might do brick. Brick makes the most sense. Let's do brick. Okay. Have I just like grossly made this center? Where's the pivot point? Oh, it's all the way over there? Oh, geez. Okay. Let's bring the pivot point here. And then grab the spline. And move that into place. Now it's like in the right place, right? Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Really need that point. Oh yeah, I should show you what this does. So I'm also able to change the grid distance. So basically like how big those squares are, how many squares there are. Because I found that if I could do that, it can like, my algorithm for doing this isn't perfect. Hence I'm getting all those errors. Which is also why I'm not going to make a video about it, because it's not that good of a tool. But it does what I need it to do, and that is the important point. Alright. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let me just bring it down to match the height of the building. Actually, I'm going to do that, and I'll bring the building up to match the height of the surface. give the floor a little bit of a slant. Yeah, I will make a little ramp. I will make a little ramp probably. I don't know. I might not. Sometimes I don't need to. You know, like there's a fine line, especially this early on, because I know I'm gonna want to change stuff after. You know, this is the first version of, or the first pass on like the real level art, so I don't know how much of it I'm gonna want to keep yet, and so I'm hesitant to do like loads of detailing until I'm pretty confident with the final layout. And I mean, at that point I'll then bake everything too, because all this stuff is sort of procedure generated at runtime. And that'll look alright. And I think that's also where I'll make like extra details. So if I do want steps up or something, like probably what I do for this sort of building, maybe we just do it, is like make this a little bit longer. So there's kind of a little plaza or something. I don't know. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to look okay. It's like realistically that wouldn't exist. There'd be steps down or something. Maybe that is what I'll do. Maybe I will get some steps that like make sense here. Who knows? But for now, we'll put a building at that level, and then the next building can just go down here. Or we do this again and then have a little bit of steps between the two of them. Where I have a bunch of buildings near me, and at this time of day I get so much sort of bounced light from the glass, it's blinding. But there we go, that should be a little bit better. Okay, you know what, I think that's fine. Hello. Is it a rare site to use other people's assets? Yeah, I mean, for a game like this, I'm not going to use other people's assets because I want to sell it. And I'm of the opinion that that this game will be better without other people's assets in it. Also, the style just doesn't work. Like, I'm trying to go for a cohesive style, and I'm not going to end up with one if I just steal. I'll use that loosely. If I use other people's assets, right? Like, some games will work with that. But the problem is you only need like 3 or 4 games that are reusing the same assets for people to notice. And I don't know. I think reusing your own assets is fine, right? Like, especially between games, if they're in a similar genre or whatever, like why retread, or things that people aren't going to notice as much, right? Like animations and stuff. Like, people don't care about that. But visual things, I think, especially if they're like forefront, and there's going to be stuff in the background that nobody's really going to pay any attention to. Sure, why not, right? So it's a delicate balance, and you just kind of have to make those calls based on what is important to you and your project, right? So, you know, for me, there's not much I could do here that I could source that isn't my own, right? So But I mean, tools and things that nobody's gonna know that you've used, sure, right? Like, anything that helps you make the game faster, great. I think you just have to make that decision of, is this gonna actually hinder the success of my game in terms of audience perception? And there are some instances where using assets could do that. But I mean, you then have Bennett Foddy, who's made a game entirely using asset store assets, right? But I think part of that is leaning into the utility of what you've purchased, right? So, you know, there is no one-size-fits-all solution for anybody. And I think the sooner people agree on that part, I think the better we all are, because there should be a nuance of asterisks to any advice anybody ever gives when it comes to making video games. For every rule, there is somebody who has broken it and succeeded, so... This is where I spend all my time. I'm just like fiddling around with heights so that it kind of looks alright. And nobody's going to look past. They're just going to go zooming past in their vehicle. They're not going to pay any attention to it, so who knows. Eventually, I will add decals and stuff. I want like graffiti and things on, and I'll put details and stuff later, but that's fine. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think that's a building. Hooray, we've done it. We've done one more building. We're going to slowly, very slowly, have a skyline. Actually, the one thing I did want to see is how it looked from this side. Oh, yes, good. Okay, great. That's exactly what I wanted. All right, let's have a look how it looks like in the vehicle with the actual camera. I haven't tried this yet. We'll see. This might break. I haven't done any game dev work on this machine in my spare time in a long time. So we'll see. Okay, Fmod is upset, but other than that, seems to be okay. Yeah, that looks okay. In fact, I like the fact that it's at a different angle too. It might be too high. I might be able to drop a story on that and get it to look better. Or maybe I put a tree. I think we need a little bit of a middle ground. We might need a couple of trees or something there, so it's not just... Or like another wall. Okay. That's fine. I think that's okay. Every now and then I get bored, and I will just do little things like this. You gotta do the small things, right? You gotta do the little bits of game dev that make you continually want to do it. So, like I said, the whole reason I picked this is so that I can, you know, work on little bits that I feel like, depending on what mood I'm in that day, and still make progress towards having the game finished. So, if you need to just do a little bit of VFX. Oh no, what's happened to that? Oh, do it. Oh dear. Oh no. Yeah, alright. Oh. Oh boy. Let me fix that one. Why is that doing that? Oh, there's a freaking node there. That's why. There we go. Yeah, that'll do it. All right. Okay. So here's the other little secret. I just float around on Street View. And see what I can find. So that also helps. So let me see if I can... I like just sort of floating around on Street View to see if I can find any inspiration. Specifically, a lot of this is designed very... Like, I'm kind of crossing between Vancouver, which is where I am, to What sort of part? This is the downtown, so we should go... We should go somewhere. Let's bring this over. So let's go... That's interesting. I tell you, since designing this game, working on the level design, I have been, when I'm walking around, I'm like looking at all the most random pieces of like architecture choices, I guess. Just to look at, you know, how different plazas are put together and that kind of stuff. It's crazy. Game dev breaks your brain. Like, it actually destroys how, when you're working on something, like where you get inspiration from. It's wild. Well, I don't really want to do another plaza because there's one. I've already got that sort of bit, so we just need, but it's got to continually look not awful. That is a big building. I mean, maybe. That is a huge bush. Is it just a building that's had ivy grown over it? What is this? And a parking lot. Alright. Interesting. Ooh, I like that though. Oh, it's so brutalist. Ooh. Oh, I'm on Dunsmith Street. Okay. Welcome to Matt Plays GeoGuessr, although he doesn't because it's not free anymore, and that makes me sad. Now that's a neat start. Okay. Yeah, maybe something like this. Oh, it's the Balenciaga building. Okay. The green wall. I do have... Yeah, maybe something a little bit more setback and thin would work. That's neat. That could work too, like two pieces of buildings and then like a narrower angled one. That's fun. I can't do this in my tool yet. I've been looking at buildings thinking about slants and how I would potentially do that. There's some weird frickin' architecture in Vancouver, I tell you. It's such a strange city. They kind of just, like, there's a few rules they have here, but it seems like the architects, whenever they're trying to get any planning permission, they just, like, look at something and go, yeah, that'll do. And there's no rules around it. They're like, yeah, that'll work. Sure, it's crazy enough. Let's build it. There's a building on, I think it's West Georgia? Are we on West Georgia? That is just a cube. It just is a cube that is, let me see if I can find it. It's just an upside down cube. There it is. The trees are blocking it. Okay, let me see if I can get it into like... Oh, you can't see it because of the trees. That's a shame. I wonder if I can get at it from a slightly different angle. Because it is insane. I have broken street view. Okay. Okay. Well, never mind. Never mind. Searching for the cube broke street view. Great. But yeah, it's a building that's like a cube, and then there's this massive structure on top of it. It's weird. This city is insane. Alright. So, I think more of this, but lower. To potentially... maybe concrete? let's do that. And I think I can do this, but I don't know if I can do this. I think I can like flatten this bit out and then have this go up. I can. Well, look at that. Okay. That's kind of interesting. Let's tuck it behind the brick. And then we'll go all glass, I think, and I don't know if we'll go tall. What do you think? Do we go... I mean, we might just go sort of short and long, because these are relatively, I would say, kind of condensed buildings. So we either go like a really big one, because this area is supposed to be, this specific section is supposed to be the sort of like office district, right? And it sort of bleeds that way into more sort of mixed zone residential that way, and then like as we go further south, it gets, we go like retail, and then we go just sort of suburbs ish. Parking spot, yeah, we've got one right here. But maybe, what do we do? Let's grab this guy and see. I think we keep this flat, right? Let's stretch this out so that it's flat. And then we make this wider. Like that. And then we take the windows out from the bottom. I think we go up a couple of stories. Let's maybe do 12. Does that work? Maybe? Or maybe do we do less? Or do we do a ton? Is it just like a huge building? Maybe it's just a huge building. Because it's gonna... Yeah, okay. Okay. I think I know what I want to do. Is this build maker asset available on this? No, this is my custom asset. I will be making a tutorial on it at some point. It is the next one, as voted for by you guys. But it is a bespoke tool. I don't like making asset store tools. I have some animations on the asset store that I captured in my motion capture suit, but as soon as it becomes available for people to pay for outside of like supporting me on Patreon and stuff, it means I have to do a bunch of work to support it, and I don't want that. That's not what I want to do. So I will very rarely make tools for the asset store unless I decide to turn that into my full-time job. It's like there's just an onus of customer service that you have to have. Unless the thing I make I make a decision to do that. But like when it's a tool that I'm making for myself, turning it into a public product is a lot less fun and turns it into work rather than a tool. So we'll do a tutorial and I'll build something similar for a tutorial, and that will be available as a package for Patreons. But outside of that, probably not. So we want to take the windows away on the bottom. Can I do 0? I don't know if it lets me do 0. It does. Okay, great. No windows. Haha. And then if we go, and then we do the door offset. Hi, Sonic Reese, thank you for subscribing. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there are some scheduled streams. I didn't know. Thank you for letting me know. I'm going to delete those. My streaming thing has broken those. I guess they were failed. Let's delete those. Well, I mean, I'm hoping to do more in the future, but yeah, there shouldn't have been. I've been trying to get this stuff working, and I think I failed on setting this up earlier, and I guess YouTube just freaked out on it. So hopefully I haven't just deleted the current stream, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe. I think that's fixed it, though. Sorry about that. Although, hopefully that drew a lot of attention to the stream. You just had to play a kind of, you know, shell game of which one it was that was live. I do think YouTube tells you which one is actually live. But yeah, my bad. Hopefully that's fixed now. All right. So let's move those doors. I think I have a door type that is... Actually, I think I can cheat and just put it where I want. And I can like make that where the doors start from. Nope. Wrong way. There we go. Get rid of the offset, and that means they'll just start wherever I decide that that bit is. Great. I love when I can hack my own tools to features that I didn't think I could do. And then bring this in the middle. Bring this guy up a little bit. Well, that's kind of part of the design, is that it's like... Actually, yeah, no, I quite like that, because then it means that this story is at the same height as this one, and then the bottom is just sort of... Ah, it worked. Maybe I bring the doors across. Actually, that would look cool, right? Like if we bring it over here, then it's in line with the flat part, and then you have like it's steady, and then we can put a fence or something there. But oh, cool. Okay, that worked. All right. Great. We have done this edge. Now we have to do the other edge, I think. Is this side included as well? Where does the right stop? Upper right. It stops over here. Okay, so we've got to do this section. And then we've got to do this section. Okay. Excuse me. Like I said, the cool thing about a lot of this is that I can just kind of wing it and do what I want to do. Okay, so we'll make these not the same color and then move on. I think all the windows, yeah. And then, oh, well, there's no point doing it on the bottom one because they won't work. Single? Do we go single pane? That style? And more like together? Subtle, but it does make a difference. We go triple. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, that'll do. Do we keep... Maybe we lower the threshold. No, I want... Yeah, I like them more even. Some of these having sort of not normal distributions makes, you know, works, but... Yeah, I think that makes sense. And then actually what we can do is build, like, make this more aggressive. So it's like an actual cutoff. I mean, one of the reasons I wanted to do this project in general was to teach myself how to do level design. I've never done it before. It has been a learning curve, I tell you that. And so you're going to be with me on this journey. Hopefully, if I do more of these streams. I appreciate you all being here and hanging out. And anybody watching after the fact, let me know your thoughts too. Yeah, that works. I think that looks neat. So then we just need to change the color. The concrete on the bottom, but maybe maybe we should go concrete all the way up. Concrete 03. Ooh. Does that work? No. That works though. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Let's put a little something there though, so it looks a little bit more finished. Okay, so this is the last little bit. If you were present or you've seen the other stream, the props, a good portion of what this process is. Well, the project saves. Any noticeable benefits, features from upgrading to Unity 6? Haven't updated Unity version in a good while. I haven't had a huge... I haven't needed Unity 6 for a lot of things. The only main reason I went to Unity 6 fully, it was for UI2K updates, which I wanted for the UI that I use for this, which I think I spoke about that in my UI video. And so the features with that is why. Generally, the things I'm using Unity 6, like this game, don't really take any advantage. Although the resident drawer stuff might be useful once I start exploring how I'm rendering things. But I may need to change my shaders to use all the new features for that to work. I think I explored it in it because they're not using the render graph. I'd have to write a bunch of stuff for my custom, because I basically have, where are they? My renderer uses, a few different things. It looks like the fog renderer isn't working, which I should look into. I may need to update it. So this, actually asking about third-party assets, I have somebody who wrote a shader that is a volumetric fog shader. Oh, I may just not have pulled it into this version of the project. That's fine. Yeah, I think somebody has one. There was one on GitHub that I pulled, and I guess I just haven't got it in on this machine. But I'll get that fixed next time. Let's undo that. But yeah, like stuff like that. But yeah, I have like a... Oh, that's what I was going to show you. I get so distracted. So I have a little renderer that is... let me show it in the game view. I wrote a custom renderer that is adding lines to certain layers because I don't want it to be on like the procedural objects. I want outlines on. So I wrote a renderer that would do that pass. So if we go into... in the Discord, I wrote about this as I was building it. So if you are interested in following development, I've been regularly posting over the past year and a half, I guess, updates on random things I'm doing. And yeah, one of the main things was figuring out how to get... This was a process. I think it was at my friend's place in LA over a weekend trying to make this work. I wanted to specifically single out certain objects to draw outlines on and not others, and I had to write a whole post-process stack for it to work. Which I think is in one of these ones. I don't know where I put it. It's in one of these stacks somewhere. Oh, it's already active on this one, but yeah, there's it might just be here that it's happening because I'm copying the depth to do it, but I'm selecting specific layers of objects. Actually, if I turn it off, yeah, oh there we go, outline layer, that's it. So what this does is essentially grabs certain layers, and it's missing that centerpiece. I don't know why. And renders the depth buffer for the ones that I've included, and then draws that to a render texture, and then I draw an outline based off of that depth information, and so it's only applied to whatever I push to that stack, basically. It's pretty straightforward, but it's how I can achieve not drawing lines on the objects that already have them, essentially, and then adding... It needs work, but it's better than nothing. You can see it adds some detail in the background there that just isn't there if I don't have it turned on. So I'm not worried about it. Like, there's some issues with it at the moment, but it's doing most of the heavy lifting to what I need. Anyway, back to finishing off this section. So let's create a spline. This game is just splines. It's splines everywhere. There's splines for how vehicles are going to be moving around, splines for all the assets, splines, splines, splines. I'm a big fan of Unity Spline Tool. Like, it's actually pretty good. I know a few people don't like it, but it is great. So I think what we'll do is we'll do spline instantiate and then find a, let me just no, boulders don't. Oh, we could do boulders. Brick wall. No. Buckets. Let's do a line of buckets. That's so funny. Oh, it's interesting. PF assets. Honestly, maybe that one. I need to make one that's... Yeah, I only have blocks. I don't have a cement, like, fence. Should we just have a line of fountains? These are too rural. The hedge is not is too much. Oh, the sun is sneaking through again. Pallets? Maybe. Picnic tables. Or we just go for the old barrier. I'm not against the barrier. Like, it needs to feel brutalist, and I feel like the barrier would be brutalist. I want this one to be a little bit, you know. Yeah. Yeah, that works. Do we go down? I think we go down. What do we think, chat? Do we go with or without the... I need a version of this that's angled, really, huh? Should we make an angled one? Like, we need a skewed one. Okay, let's do that. Actually. That'll be useful. Which means... I mean, we need to change scenes. So, let's go to props gallery. I don't have any angled fences yet. And I actually can't believe it's taken me this long to make one. So which one is it? Is it this one? Barrier metal. I think, you know what? I think we'll go for a more aggressive design though. We're barrier metal 02. Okay. So let's go and test. And find that prop. There, barrier metal. Is that the one we wanted? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we go D, like this. And then, best way to do this. What's the best way to do this? I guess we just shift it up, huh? It doesn't have to be perfect. We could just use sculpt mode. Do you think we can just grab it? I don't want... I don't want it to deform a whole bunch though. Oops. Let's turn on proportion. Make the proportion larger. Yeah, that's the way to do it. We just use proportional editing. And if we do that, but then we like extend the bottom piece, and we can kind of then just, it can kind of then just serve any purpose, right? So if we now bring that down like that, because then like this bit can go in the ground, right? Like that can just be like mounted. Actually, if that is the case, we should bring, oops, that up a little bit. So it's kind of, well, that's the only bit we'd lose the bottom. Oh wow, I'm getting sunlit aggressively right now. It's the time of day. It's that time of day. Let me turn the normal lights on. Okay, so I think that'll do, right? I think that'll get us where we need to go. And achieve. You know what? It's good enough for now. Angled. And we'll just stick with this one for now. I don't want to spend ages doing this. So then let's export this. I don't have, do I have the... I don't see the export add-on. Do I not have it enabled? Super batch export. There we go. Oh, it's there. Okay. fix that first. Actually, the metal, grab this, duplicate that. PF barrier metal 02 underscore angles. Angles. Angle. Oh, I see. Oh man, it's huge. Why is that so much bigger? Oh, I guess it is. Is this import set to something weird, like point? One. And that's set to 1 as well. Huh. Why is that so much bigger? But in Blender it's the same size? That's odd. Let's fix this, actually. Yeah, that's fun. I guess because it's at an angle, it just looks like it's bigger, but it's not. But I mean, it is, but not in a way that I'm particularly bothered by. I think we can just bring these up, and then I'll get back to where we kind of want it to be. Let me just select it all and bring it back to the base. That's a bit much. Split the difference. That's better. Okay, that's better. That's less crazy. Okay, barrier metal 02 angled. Pull this into there. Pop that there. Original prefab. Still bigger than I'd like. I wonder if I have the preset set to scale up by... actually, let me undo this. Yeah, that's what it is. fixed this thing to not have to do that when I last edited it, and I haven't updated the version on this end, so that's probably why. There we go. I had an annoying exporter issue. That's fixed. Okay, great. So now if we go back to the downtown scene. Oh, did I not save my... Oops. Oh, well. Ah, I didn't save it. Could have sworn I saved it. Oh, well. I think I need to do this in 2 different splines, though. I don't know if I can do it by distribution. I don't think it only lets you instantiate by percentage. Oops. Called it barrier, isn't it? Yeah. And then I don't know. I mean, we can try it. I don't think it'll let me do it. I think it just like randomly picks probability. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So we do it in 2 steps. Fence part A and then fence part B. That sucks. This is just like the weird stuff when you are using Unity's tools, is they make assumptions for you and then like don't consider that you would need it for other things. I actually do know the people on the Spline team, so I might message them and be like, hey, adding this like distance distribution instantiation would be cool, rather than just like a % chance. And then if I set the it kind of works, but not really. Actually, yeah, I guess it needs to be skewed. I'm not going to worry about this too much. I can fix this later. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then I can just change that. Yeah. Okay. That's better than what it would have been like. So, neat. Okay. I'm happy with that. That's fine. It's not perfect. But I think... I think it's okay. I need to extend the bottom piece a little bit more. Potentially. Maybe let's just do that. Like, does this need to actually just be like that? Yes, probably. Yeah, it does. Okay. There we go. All right. There we go. And then a little flower bed. Yeah, we do have some flower beds. We could do a hedge box along there. But actually, I think the planter boxes will work nice. We can do plant pots. No. Why don't we do, considering the style that this is in, why don't we just do a couple of little, 2 or 3 of those will probably be fine. Something like that, maybe. Yep. I think that'll do. It looks a little bit nicer. And then the next building, whenever that is, needs to not be as set back, and I think that would work. Like, just switching up the setback level is really the main thing. Okay. Okay. What do we do next? Let's see. Let's see how it feels. That'll be good. Okay. I need to fix the curbs on these. I made some changes just before working on this so I could change the width of different curbs, and I just forgot to go through and update it. So actually, if this is like raised, this bit should probably be flat. I think that would be an interesting contrast, right? It's a delicate balance, right? Because it's like, realistically, most players aren't going to be paying attention, and you know, they're just going to be driving from destination to destination. Not really, but like, the weird thing about level design is it has to work. You know, what's going on with those textures again? Did they not save either? I guess I just didn't save the scene. Weird. It must, maybe it resets itself. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, so like, it has to look like it makes sense, and it also needs to provide visual, like, it can't look noisy, and it also should help guide the player, right? Like, that's part of the reason why this looks the way that I wanted it to. And I'm gonna, you know, obviously I don't want to overthink it, and I'm gonna have to make changes. But there needs to be just sort of enough variation between each thing that's not like repeating, you know, like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon background. And that from different positions, I mean, multiple things, right? From a screenshot, it'll look good. If somebody's sharing it, it should still kind of look okay. Yeah, okay, alright. So because this is really high, I think a small, maybe squarish building to contrast against these two sort of relatively brutalist kind of buildings. So maybe something a little bit more low-key. Alright. Well, let's just wing it and see what happens, shall we? I think this looks cool though. That turned out quite well. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, aside from the egregious anti-aliasing, lack of any anti-aliasing in the scene view, I think it's looking okay. We've made 2 buildings so far in nearly 2 hours. But you guys have been distracting me, so it's your fault. But it's not that I'm not swift at this. Okay, let's go. Is there anything close to what I want? You know what? That's probably closest. So let's just grab that. Find the pivot point. Okay, that's the pivot point. Let's just bring that. Honestly, I might just keep it like that. That's actually pretty good. And then, yeah, we can have a little alley here. Did I do anything? Am I missing anything from the initial layout? There is. There's a shortcut there. Oh, look at me. Already getting ahead of myself. I had a feeling there was a shortcut at that spot. Okay, so if it just ends there, that's fine. That's fine. These can be doors. We can keep the... I quite like this. Let's change the wall texture to the... What have we got? That one? Is it locked? It's locked. Yeah, okay. It's just different enough from that other one. Honestly, we could probably do that and get away with it. Do we make it an angled building? No, no, I'm not going to do that. What we'll do... I want to bring the doors round to this corner. I don't know where they are. Where are the doors? Are the doors... Do I just have doors turned off? Oh, I'd have doors turned off. There we go. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Oh, those good doors too. I like those. Oh, I like this. Yeah. Okay. And then we go 100% thresholding. Oh no, because I don't like there being... Oh, you know what? I know what we do. Okay, let's duplicate this. And then we set the distribution base to 0. And we set the base stories to 1. And then, oh. Oops. Class single O2. Oh. Story should be 0. Yeah, and then set the threshold to be like... Actually, maybe it's still even, but it's just scattered like that. Oh yeah, that works. Yeah, that works nicely. Okay, yeah, that's like an actual little building. Oh, you know what we could do? We could duplicate this. Where'd it go? Put it on top. Turn off the doors. And like set it back. I just want to create some interesting shapes, you know? Because otherwise everything just looks square. Oh yeah. And then we make a window go on the bottom. Maybe it sometimes doesn't have any windows. Oops. I don't know. I kind of like that. I think that's an interesting looking building. That'll do, I think. It might be too high now. I think I quite liked it being low. Maybe just do a single story of this. Yeah, so it's like a little bit set back, but not by much. Let me just bring it down a tiny bit. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, that's enough. That is absolutely fine. It adds some variation. We can put some props along the side there. It matches the sort of direction. It contrasts nicely. Yeah, sweet. Okay. And then the next building can be set back a little bit. Or set forward. No, set back. Because you kind of want, like, as you get closer to the ends of the bound, like, I want you to be able to kind of see, especially this one. Is this system good on mobile? What do you mean? I don't know. I don't know what does that question mean? Is that like, do the assets... That question could mean a lot of different things. If you're asking, is this game for mobile? No. This will be the building system. Like the... I still don't understand what that question means. It's just a tool that is laying out meshes, so... Maybe one of these guys. What do we got? Maybe one of these guys. I mean, it does actually just get to a point where I can just literally copy and paste stuff at a certain point in time. Oh yeah, we're angled, aren't we? Okay. That's probably okay. Yeah, I think a little bit of a setback. That can then... Or do we bring it forward? I went the wrong way. There we go. You know what? I think this one could probably get away with just inching it up. it is crazy how very quickly it just like looks normal, you know? I really like that. I love how fast it is to just start getting... Could you imagine if these were all sort of modular pieces that I had to put together in Blender or whatever? Because I went through like 4 different variations of like R&D to figure out how I was going to do all this level work. Like, these buildings were honestly such a pain in the ass to figure out what I wanted to do. At one point I was working on a system that could procedurally generate buildings mathematically within a volume, but it started getting so complicated that I was having one, maybe in a sequel I'll do something like that so we get more interesting shapes and stuff, but I think this is probably fine. Speaking of interesting shapes, what if... Oh, not like that. No. Linear, please. Thank you. That's such a weird looking shape. That looks great. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Okay. See, we already have a little plaza thing here. I don't really just want to kind of copy my own homework. But we could have a building that's here, just offset, with a little setback. So it's not really a plaza, but it's just a sort of like widened area and maybe some hedges and stuff. I think that would be a good way to go. You come down, yeah. And maybe it's low again. It's like 2/3 of this is just making it interesting, sort of. I can't wait to shoot the trailer for this game. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so much fun to just get like interesting camera angles. And if you've watched the replay system video, you know I already have capture tools ready. Okay, so let's put another platform down. Grab this little guy. Oh, that's huge. Oops. Quite frankly, I don't know how I want to do this. Like, it possibly is just kind of a ramp. That might just work, right? Like, that's not uncommon. Question is, can I do that up to this edge? Can it work? Not really. I can hide that. This is going to be a slightly weird layout. It's not uncommon for there to be a step. You know, there's like a little plant thing there. Do I have some steps? I think I have some steps. Wait, how did I do those steps? Are these just... Are these Pro Builder shapes? Oh. Alright. So we do something like this. To just blend it. Yeah, it kind of just blends. I don't know. I don't need to be too fancy with it, right? And then just set that as the same kind of style. Helps if I learn how to spell. Ooh, that contrasts nicely. Or we make that a slope? I don't know. I think stairs are fine. And we just put some assets there to like blend it more evenly. I don't know. I'm not against that. Slightly angled makes sense, right? Oh, Ha! Not if it doesn't actually match up on that side. Oh yeah, I forget you could like round them out. Oops. Oh, it's snapping. Stop snapping. Okay. Like realistically, what this would actually probably look like is this would stick out, I guess. And I think we can just blend it for now. I don't need to do too much more here. I'm not a huge fan of how this has turned out, to be honest. But it's probably fine. Oh, are we in upper middle accidentally? Oh. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's better. And then we just put some kind of asset there, I guess. All right. What do I want to put there? Oh, we could put one of the... Okay, so here's a fun little tidbit. I wanted a prop that could be used in a kind of dynamic function. So I used some blend shapes and made a skinned mesh so that I could, rather than having like 7 variations of the same prop, I could instead use my blend shapes to change how the prop looks. And I could, like, you know, make curved pieces. And it turned out pretty good. I don't know what the impact of performance is. on it being a skinned mesh renderer. And whether that's bad, but like, I guess I could bake it once I'm happy with the final design. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Let's switch to a different color though. I don't like that color. Where is it? Probably A. Yeah, probably A. Yeah, looks cool. Okay. And we just put a tree there. Or a bush. Can I do poles? Can we do a poll? Alright, let's do a poll. Create a poll. What should be on the planter? Question mark. Tree. Bush. Rock. Alright. I'm starting a poll. Let's vote. I'll show you what it looks like. So let's get a tree. PF tree. Alright, we got a bunch of trees to choose from. Looks kind of like that. You've seen the trees. So we could put any of those in. Oh, I don't hate that. We got the rocks, which look kind of like this, right? There is like a patch of other stuff too. We have a little rock. We could make the rock big, right? Like just a big rock. That kind of works. And then, yeah, the other option. I mean, you've seen the hedges. The hedges, bush. And then, yeah, the bush is that. We also have. There is for extra detailing, which we could do. There's also like little grass details. Probably too much at this point. If I was going to do that, I think I would scale it up a little bit. And other alternative. We got 67% on tree, 33% on bush. Leaning towards tree. Tree and small rock might be the way to go here. Yes, I am planning on broadcasting more regularly. I would love to do more of these level design streams because they make me do the work. And this is kind of just a test stream, really. So if people enjoy it and they're enjoying this, let me know. And if you want to see more of this, it would be pretty cool. Eventually, it would be great to do an actual gameplay stream, and we can test the game. I'm leaning towards the tree as well. I think that seems to be the most popular vote. So we might do a little bit of a mix. We could also just put a big cement block here instead. Honestly, wait, hold on. This might be it. All right, I'm ending it. I think I've got it. I've ended the poll. We are going to go with tree. I think we're going to use this planter. What we're going to do is we're actually going to make this material instead of dirt, we could do grass. Actually, we could just do cement. Oh, concrete. I haven't called it cement. I don't know why I'm... Yeah, that works. Now we just put a tree in the middle. Which one? Maybe that one? I might scale it down. That's kind of insane. Oh wait, hear me out. Hear me out. Let's go 0.85. Maybe. No, that looks insane. That's dumb. That doesn't work. Not that tree. Probably that one. Yeah, that kind of fits the... And then, like a bush here, probably. Oh, we could do the hedge box. Why don't we do the hedge box? Let's just do the hedge. No, that's too much. Okay. This is it. This is just what level design is. It's friggin'... I mean, I assume so. I'm not a professional level designer, but I'm assuming it is just like, what happens if we put this here? Yeah, you know what? I actually think what would look good there is no, some kind of utility. Like we could put a chair there maybe, but probably oh, a bin. We could put a bin there. I don't think I've put any wheelie bins in this yet. I don't like the wheelie bin. I think we have a standing bin. I think that makes sense. I think a standing bin. Maybe putting both of them there makes sense too. Yep, that does it. That's nice. That works. I'm happy with that. All right. So, I think that works. And makes sense. Oh, we can actually go up that. That's cool. Yeah, that's great. That honestly turned out really well, I think. This little corner. I think we've accomplished a good little section. There'll be an alleyway over here. And we just have to do that little bit next. I have no idea what this is going to be like when it's all done. I'm really interested in how well it's going to read. Let's go up onto the train tracks for now. I don't know if you... I think you used to drive on this, yeah. I'm annoyed the fog isn't working. I'll get that working by the next stream. These are going to be the hardest things to do. Like, the other two train stations. That's definitely been the fiddliest... Like, the most fiddliest pieces. That'll be a train eventually. Oh yeah, I think I can just drive off the edge for now. Let's go. Oh no, I misjudged that completely. Well, alright. I forgot there was a corner there. Yeah, this section is really starting to take shape now. And we've done I've nearly done a third of the map. Nearly. Once this section is done, a third of the map is done. So, yeah, I am intending to do some more streams. I really, really, really want to get the level design done. I think I'm going to leave it there for today. It took me a little bit longer than I'd like to have gotten the stream started today because was just trying to set all this stuff up. But so yeah, next time I think we'll have some more. We'll do more. But thank you for hanging out. It's been great. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the input and the questions. And yeah, as I said, hopefully we'll be able to do. I'll try and make time for more of these. At least once a month if I can do it. Because, like I said, I want to have more content on the channel than just as tutorials because they're a lot slower. And I just really want to get work done on this game. And I think this journey of going through this will be more interesting to many of you. So And I'm enjoying the level design process. I think it's interesting and fun, and it'll be cool to watch this come together, I think. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Maybe we'll do another one on Friday. Maybe. We'll see. Keep an eye. I'll try and plan them and make, rather than it being completely impromptu, I'll try and schedule them properly. But yeah, we will do a building, I will do a building tutorial, so I'm probably gonna start work on that in February, and we'll see how long it takes. It was either a video that takes as long as the replay video did, which was about 2.5 months, or it's a video I can make relatively quickly. I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll see. So I'm hoping to get another stream in before I start work on that video, because once I start work on a video, it's just that's it. My spare time is just that. So, which I don't have much of anyway, having a full-time job. But yeah, so hope you like this format. If you do, like I said, if you're watching this after the fact, let me know. And I think keeping these as VODs is also a good idea, but we'll see. Yeah, that's probably all there is to say. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye. Bye.